Look at this dude. Wait till you see the. No, 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 no.
I don't feel like. So I got my hair cut. I look weird. Really, really weird. For this video, I'm just going to reuse the ones that I made in my old style. But just a warning, I am very bad at writing action scenes, so take it with a grain of salt. I wasn't able to give this disclaimer last time, but I'll give it to you this time. Anyways, here are the 3 final scenes, but in the old style. I'm still gonna keep the script as it is, just so you can see what I was planning to say.
Okay, Jeff.
Hopefully that helps you understand why.
Dan and Craig exit the guest house as Dr. Trayaurus remains resting. The doctor sees them exit the door. For a moment, he contemplates following Craig. Once they are outside, thanks Dan for his help in making his bed and singing him to sleep. In return, he tells Dan that he will buy him some wonderful new items from the villagers, while Dr. Trayaurus decides to remain as he is. They head first to the Smith district. Dan has a good time, purchasing a set of armor, a spear, a battle axe, a shield, a bow, along with enough arrows to clear off dangers on the way. After the two have some breakfast, they head off to the stable. Craig boards his trusty horse, Dora, while Dan hops aboard Grim, his heavy, metal friend. They start walking towards the guest house, without grabbing breakfast for Dr. Trayaurus, because when Dan tried to, a mysterious voice in his head told him not to. Though he is not aware why, he'd rather trust his instincts. Thankfully, the doctor is having his stomach filled, along with having delicious sips of tea. This pleasant feeling is interrupted when his eyes follow the tea to its resting position, only to see the wicked smile of Diana.
By the wheels of the diamond minicut, how did you get inside?
There's no need to know. The important thing is not me getting inside, it's you getting out.
She replies, turning the doctor's face into confusion's territory.
In only a few moments, the villagers will appear here, to avenge their lost brethren. You must leave immediately, for you cannot save everyone, but if you leave, you, Dan and your friend will live.
She walks away after her final remarks, only to be interrupted by the attentive doctor.
I know exactly what is going on, dear helper. You were exiled from this village, after your rowdy behavior, after your house was burned. Cursed, never to hurt anyone. You had to create a plan for someone to take your vengeance. First, you gave Dan headaches, to drag us out to the forest, for you knew we would rest in the mansion. Second, you presented yourself to assist us, for the mansion experience would leave us weakened and vulnerable. Then, you set the patrol loose on our tail, but ensured our arrival at the outpost, knowing that the king would be killed and the golem would lead us to this very village. Now, the combined forces of the villagers are to slaughter every last soul in this village, as you wish you could.
I must say I am impressed, Doctor. Although my visions showed you would be the two who could survive, they never showed me so easily deduced, but you have the story ever so slightly incomplete. I was a normal villager once, till the day I was struck by lightning. The lightning gave me powers that I could not control. In response, Padre cursed me never to hurt any villager, but left me vulnerable. Day after day, I was hurt, more and more. One day, I had sensed my house on fire. I took Billy and ran as far away as I could. Upon reaching the shore, where the zombies couldn't hurt me, I decided to build my hut.
I am sorry to hear that, but it is not necessary to doom the entire village. Forgiveness is a way, and the fire, after inspection, it was of natural causes. They even built it back, with everything the way you likely left it. Look, they even kept this.
Dr. Trayaurus hands Diana a small picture he found the day before. Diana, after inspecting the photo, says,
It's Mom and Pop, and Billy Sr. I cannot believe they kept this unharmed.
They regret what they've done, Diana. Craig, the panicking messenger, accidentally yelled everything in his sleep. They are happy to take you back, but you must end this madness before anyone gets hurt.
I am afraid my powers have limits. It is too late, but I can give you this.
Diana throws a splash potion at the doctor, one of instant healing, which makes him cover his face in fear, but he feels better when his body absorbs the liquid. Upon opening his eyes, he sees a vanished Diana, but he knows his responsibility. He breaks through the brace and speeds out the door, where he meets Dan and Craig, riding in their respective ways. As they meet, they hear a horn in the distance. Along with the village bell to order everybody into their homes. As Craig rides away, the Order of Knights, belonging to this village, comes out to help the defenders, riding their horses and sword in hand. The duo armed themselves. Dan, being stronger, takes the bow and arrow. Dr. Trayaurus puts on his set of armor and equips himself with a battle axe by his hips, a spear in his strong hand and a shield in the other. Grim prepares to rock. Over the horizon, they see the first wave of raiders approaching in formation, while the knights take theirs. The raid has begun. The knights charge at the firing pillagers, taking out all but two of them. The two escapees run village side of the knights, loading their crossbows for a second time. One of them is greeted by an arrow of Dan's releasing. The other, as a result, dashes into the village and enters the territory of Dr. Trayaurus. With a swift move, the doctor cancels the intruder's life insurance. Behind the doctor appears an axe-wielding Vindicator, and behind him appears a Vindicator bashing Grim. The first wave has been defeated. Dr. Trayaurus sees Shikari, the hunter, coming to ring the bell, as is norm after every wave. Unbeknown to the doctor, who thinks everything is over and hands over his spear, Dan, in an attempt to celebrate, climbs to the highest tower, only to notice the second wave approaching. As the horn blows for a second time, everyone enters the church, leaving only the defenders outside. The second wave has begun. In charges the beast of the raiders, the Ravager. The knights reduce in number, though not in spirit. The Ravager breaks through the line of knights and charges mindlessly into home after home. The Illagers take this opportunity to enter and cause chaos, but Grim has them at bay, with Dan's aim providing great backup. Dr. Trayaurus runs, but is cornered by the mob. His swift slashes with the axe keep him alive momentarily, but only Dan's arrow truly keeps him safe, until the Ravager chases him to no end. The doctor runs and runs, hoping that accurate Dan will eventually hit the speeding Ravager. With no choice left, he dives into the river, despite his inability to swim. The Ravager follows, but gets stuck. In that moment of hesitation, Dan's arrows pierces his body several times, eventually taking the beast out once and for all. Dan's attention turns back to Grim, who has defeated everybody else, but remains weakened. The second wave has been defeated. The doctor, on the other hand, sinks deeper and deeper, as was shown to him before he boarded the hut. Much to his surprise, he sees Dan's hand reaching down to him. Without hesitation, he reaches to his friend and is pulled to the shore. Upon exiting, he picks up his axe again, ready to celebrate, until the horn blows for a third time. Now only Dan, Dr. Trayaurus and Grim remain to protect. The third wave has begun. Dr. Trayaurus, left with neither energy nor choice, has to hurry to make it to the church in time, before he gets cornered. Dan's position is not to be safe if it is reached by the raiders. Grim, despite his prowess, is against the odds as he faces not one, but two beastly Ravagers. Dr. Trayaurus sprints and skips, while the door is opened for him slightly. His presence inside is thankfully just moments before an arrow speeds into the closed door. Now, the axe wielders charge and slam the door, over and over, breaking it slightly with each strike. Dan's rest at the top is aided when he can shoot down the climbers, but is cut short when his arrows have all run out. Now, without weapons and within firing range, he is moments away from an end. As time passes on, the situation seems more and more helpless. Dan rests atop, awaiting the first raider to jump at him. Dr. Trayaurus rests inside with the terrified villagers, whose terror grows with every strike. As the horn blows for a final time, it seemed as though all is lost. But not to be. The horn was that of fellow knights, who had received news from Craig the Deus Ex Machina messenger. As they charge in and defeat the raiders, the doctor jumps out with his axe and Dan leaps from the heavens to aid the charge of the knights. The villagers stand strong, but to no result as they are shredded by the charging knights. The raid has been defeated. Yelling follows the success, until something is realized. The doctor approaches his friend, Dan, sitting beside fallen Grim, who, with what of his life remains, hands his dear friend a flower. The same that was presented, when they had first met. Upon the completion of Grimm's funeral, held alongside many of the now perished heroes, Dan and Dr. Trayaurus meet with Citrica, the cartographer, who finds a route for them to head back home. The villagers wish the two well as they leave, accompanied by knights. Before they leave, Darji repairs their clothing, without any charge, and they are given fresh weapons and armor. Within hours of walking, they finally reach their lab, after what felt like an eternity away from home, away from Luna and Jason, who greet their friends and welcome them into the house. Luna felt bad that Dan missed out on the festival, so she brought some booze for the boys. Boy, did they need that. The knights leave with some of it. The four converse for a moment and Luna reveals that she still hasn't come up with a story for Mr. Murr. Dr. Trayaurus excuses himself and heads to his room to sleep, knowing exactly what is in Dan's mind. For the rest of the day, Dan sits down with his friends and from the beginning, explains the adventure that he and Dr. Trayaurus have composed over the weekend. Billy, resting in the hut, fish in sight and a letter done writing, welcomes a visiting Dr. Trayaurus into the hut. There he finds the letter of Billy's composition. Diana had known that he was to come, looking to see if there was a way to revive Grim. With magic above her level, she reached into the depths of her soul, to exchange hers for his. The doctor looks outside to see an entering skeleton dog, handing him a rose. They leave together, not before he sees the picture of Diana's family from earlier, this time with Diana inside. Billy is to cat out the rest of his days, till he joins his father. After handing in her project, Luna is given the task of greater reward, but this time, she must write a story magnitudes more adventurous. Dan awakes to a doorbell, while Grim is out walking the doctor. Craig the nostalgia-inducing messenger is at the door, too tired to speak, but has an epistle. Dan reads the epistle and is off on adventure, together with the doctor and resurrected Grim. Who knows what this holds?
Press start.
Well, there it is. My first ever completed story. Overall, I'd say it was a good start and genuinely quite a nostalgia trip for any fans of the old Dan and Trayaurus videos. Sorry, PhD. Or maybe it was just nostalgic for me and nobody else, which is also fine. I hope you all enjoyed this one, and feel free to leave any suggestions or improvements. I'm not saying I'll listen to them, but I'd like to hear it. Of course, I'm not saying that I won't not listen to them. I look so small. That's better. That being said, my next story is fully written, so you can read it if you'd like, but be warned that it is a bit cringe. The format as well will be quite, not cringe, but just different from this particular one. In fact, I'll need to dedicate a whole video to disclaimers next time. Either way, that's goodbye from me. I love you all, and I will see you next time.